Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hot Jobs at Higher Military. Thank you for joining us for our second broadcast of 2022. We have some really incredible opportunities to share for our viewers today, including a special conversation with a new SkillBridge internship employer and several direct hire positions. As always, if you're a transitioning service member, a veteran, or a military spouse, please tell us where you're watching from and a little bit about yourself. We love getting to know our community through these broadcasts. So it's always so interesting to see where we have people tuning in from and what they're looking for in the next career opportunity. Also, if it's your first time with us here at Hot Jobs, please type that into the chats and welcome. We're so glad that you have found us and taken a few minutes out of your Tuesday afternoon to spend time with us and learn more about some really great opportunities that we'll be sharing today. Here in the recruiting team at Higher Military, we've adopted a new tagline for the year, new career. And we desire to assist as many of you as humanly possible in finding your new career this year. So as you're introducing yourself, we'd love to know what kinds of roles you are searching for, what types of industries, job titles that you are really interested in. Drop those in the chats so we can be on the lookout for more new opportunities to share with our community. It's a really great way for us to get to know you, get to know what types of jobs and opportunities our community really is looking for as we push forward and bring on new employers in 2022. Oh my goodness, so many first-time guests. Look at the chats, just going crazy. I love seeing first-time guests. Obviously, we love our return guests as well. We have a lot of people that tune in here every week. Casey, Zendra, you guys are always here. Thank you so much for being here. But the first-time guests, that really gets me excited. So welcome, everyone. While people are continuing to introduce themselves in the chats, we'll take a couple minutes here to introduce who we have on this live broadcast with us today. I'll go first. I am Kate Wood. I'm a recruiter here at Higher Military. I'm an Army veteran and an Army military spouse, and my husband and our family are currently stationed at Eglin Air Force Base in Northwest Florida. And Brandy, welcome.
Hi, Kate. Good to see you again. It's new year, new career for us, everybody all around. I'm Brandy. I actually have a lot in common with our special guest today. We have that military background, that Navy background, Army background. It's kind of all encompassing for us. My husband's actually retired Army now, so we're excited. We're up in the Pacific Northwest. It's just a little bit rainy today, but it's kind of nice.
Yeah, especially compared to that winter weather y'all had a couple of weeks ago. So glad to see that things are somewhat returning back to normal for you up there, and welcome. And next up, we have Lucy Robinson.
Hey guys, good morning here. It's still morning here from sunny Alaska. Yes, so I am a recruiter here within the Higher Military team. I live for my sins in the middle of rural Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska. My husband is active duty Air Force, and he has absolutely promised me that we can leave here after our assignment. And I really hope to, because I'm already done with the snow, and it's only January the 11th today.
Yes. I hope that for you too, Lucy. You're almost, well, you'll be a year in Alaska come July, correct? So you're quickly moving through your first year there.
Some may say not soon enough.
Oh, I feel like we all know how that is at a certain duty station, one point or another, whether it was our own careers in the military or as a spouse. It's just, some places are better than others, and all of them have their strong suits, but So we've definitely experienced that. That's a fun topic. Everyone, if you want to type in the chat what your worst duty station was, that's always an interesting thing. So that'd be fun to hear from our community. But I digress. If you've tuned in before or to any of our recent podcasts, you remember that we've been trying to take about 5 to 10 minutes at the end of our broadcasts just to answer job search related questions, share any kind of tips, tricks, and advice that we, the recruiters here at Higher Military, would like to share with our community. Today, we are going to completely leave it up to you, the audience. So if you have a job search related question, whether it's resume writing, interviewing, anything in that realm, just type it in the chats, and we are going to leave, like I mentioned, the last 5 to 10 minutes to answer your questions. So throw those in the chats, and we will get to those at the end of the broadcast today. So let's get into it. Like I mentioned, we have a special guest today, and I will let Brandy introduce her.
Thank you so much, Kate. We do have a special guest today. Her name is Ginger Brinkley. She's the owner and founder of Yard Card Supply. I'm sure everybody kind of has an idea of what that might be. Ginger's going to tell us more about it. Yard Card Supply is one of our SkillBridge host companies, and we'll be learning a little bit more about Ginger, her company, and an opportunity that will truly bridge the gap between military and civilian life. So welcome, Ginger. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Brandy, and for that lovely introduction.
We have a lot in common. We have a lot in common.
Yes, we do. We've done the dual service life, and I think we're on opposite sides, though.
Yes.
So I'm an Army veteran. I served 15 years in the United States Army and Army Reserve, and when the Army was so nice to deploy me to Guantanamo Bay, I met this really amazing sailor. So I was I'm a retired Navy spouse now. So my husband retired in 2019, and he actually took advantage of this amazing program of a SkillBridge internship, which opened our eyes to this phenomenal opportunity for people to go from where they've served in the military with perhaps a military occupational specialty that doesn't fit their permanent career goals and transition that into a civilian career that they are passionate about and they love and that they can really leverage for their future.
Definitely. And I think it's great. My husband did a SkillBridge as well. So he actually retired from the Army in 2019. So we are truly opposites. I was a Navy brat, retired awesome. Army.
Yep. So, my husband was a gunner's mate, which, is a weapons specialist in the Navy. And he did everything from expeditionary to surface. And when he was transitioning out, there's not a lot of lucrative career fields for gunner's mates in the civilian sector. He could go be an armor, he could look at law enforcement or fire or something like that, but he really wanted to pivot and go in a different direction. And he had an opportunity through SkillBridge to work in the oil and gas industry. And it just completely turned our life around 180. He still traveled a lot, but the amount of information he was able to learn in 6 months, it was from knowing nothing to being able to be an expert consultant on the ground. And what they loved about him was his mission focus. He was duty oriented, always showed up on time, worked until the job was done, and didn't go home until it was at a level of excellence that everybody felt comfortable with. And that's what we love about SkillBridge.
That definitely, I think a lot of us, when we talk to companies and they get to see how much, a service member has to bring to it, they may not have the true 100% skills you're looking for, but, we can bring you that person that's going to work hard and kind of move forward and, show you what you can do and, be a great fit for your company, which brings us to Yard Card Supply. Can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Absolutely. Yard Card Supply was ironically founded in 2019 as my husband was running around on a gas plant. I had been dabbling in graphic design for over 25 years. So as I was serving in the military and as a military spouse, I was always being asked, can you design a t-shirt? Can you design the new company logo? All things like that. And I had kept my hand in artistry, kept my hand in graphic design. And then in 2019, I had the opportunity to buy a yard card company. So yard cards are those big happy birthday signs that you see in big letters in people's front yards. They're all over the place. And in 2019, there was no wholesale supplier of those items. So you were kind of crawling around in your garage making them with your hand. And I noticed a vacuum, partnered with another lady who was out in Colorado. She has since retired from our company. And we launched Yard Card Supply. So we are the original wholesale supplier to independent business owners all over the world. We are very popular in the military spouse world because you can have this thriving, wonderful, fun business and you can pack it up and take it with you. We desperately need graphic designers because our entire business is built around graphic design, unique content, and beautiful graphics. I actually brought some examples. Like this is my favorite thing, cupcake, right? Of course, for all the Marines out there, I brought a little dog for you. You got to have the devil dog. And then because, I can't go out without shouting out to the biggest, brightest, and best United States Army.
There you go.
Right? Battle-tested shoulders. So those are the kind of materials we create, and we need artists to help us continue to push the envelope and lead the industry. But we also understand that graphic design isn't a major field within the Department of Defense. So you've got public affairs, PSYOPs, things like that, where they are using graphics and information to deliver a message. But it's a little different because of the parameters within which they have to operate. And so we really wanted to approach higher military and a SkillBridge internship opportunity because I personally have benefited and lived through the amazing transformation from service member to civilian career. And I kind of want to pay that back and give somebody the opportunity who is excited about art, excited about graphic design, and they want to step into this industry, or maybe they don't know where to start. They've got some skills, but they need some training, they need some help. And I know that if I get a service member, they're going to understand what a deadline is. They're going to understand the scope. When I say the scope of the work, that I mean that, and I need that, and I need it deliverable on time. And so those are some of the things we love about SkillBridge, is truly bridging that gap and giving someone the opportunity to take their skills and talents and dreams and turn them into a dream come true career.
That's fantastic. I do see some service members that are signed up that have that background, like that pure digital background. But I know a lot of us, probably dabble in that graphic design kind of world and creating digital content. And that's what this internship is kind of about. It's not kind of, but it is. It's a graphic design and digital content creator internship. What are kind of those expectations you have for your internship?
Okay, so some of them are a basic understand or knowledge of Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop. We work within the Adobe suite for creating our content, our designs, and the deliverables that we need for our clients. In addition to that, you don't have to have a great knowledge or experience with it, but the digital marketing sphere. So what you're seeing is we're no longer in a physical space anymore for advertising. Billboards and roadside signage are no longer the key demographic. It's all scrolling on social media, attention grabbing graphics, content, stories, reels, all of that good stuff. So we know that there's an entire generation waiting to jump into that career field. They're like, I got this. I can work wonders with my phone. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about digital content creation, which is everything from ad templates, printable flyers for print media, as well as workbooks, templates, things that our business owner customers at the end can use and plug into their business to become fruitful and sustainable. And then the graphic design side is a little bit more behind the screen. So you're going to be helping us create graphics like the ones I showed you earlier, which our end user will actually put in somebody's yard. So the example is we want to stay within trademark and IP respectable limits. So things like the Marine Corps, you got to be very careful for. They're very protective of everything, every slogan they've ever used. But we still want to recognize their service and make sure those devil dogs get the attention that they want. Same thing with all of the branches, and as well as all of your licensed materials. So the creative artists who want to plug in and take their creativity from mind to digital to out in the world, I want to talk to you.
It's fantastic. I think it's a great opportunity for anybody. And it kind of gets you into that industry, that graphic design and that industry. But so once you're in the industry, where does this role take someone? What kind of progression can someone expect out of a role like this?
Absolutely. So graphic design spans the globe of careers. So you can work as a freelancer or a contractor and basically get paid by the project. Entry level, you're looking at somewhere around 25 to 35,000. But graphic designers and true content creators can scale to the moon from there. Many truly talented artists who meet their deadlines, understand the scope of work. You're talking six figures. Some make seven figures when they start working in branding, logo, company design, and true marketing. Graphic design touches everything, but it's a career field that a lot of people are scared of because they say, well, I can't even draw a straight line. We can teach you. If you have the desire to learn and you are tech savvy, that is one thing that I have to say. You have to be able to learn quick on a computer because there's buttons and clicking and all kinds of things, and you have to move with a purpose, which I'm sure our veterans and our service members understand moving with a purpose. But we understand there's a learning curve. But guys, the potential for your future career is endless.
That's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. And I thank you so much for sharing all the information. It is an amazing opportunity. I mean, I would love to help someone, work with your company. So please do reach out. And I think that's all I have for you right now. Thank you so much, Ginger. Oh, go ahead.
Just one last thing, guys. It's 100% remote. So you can be anywhere in the world and work with us. We have employees in 4 different states. We would love to talk to you. So don't let geography stop you from chasing your dream.
This is fantastic. Oh my goodness, Ginger, thank you so much for coming on, learning about your organization, telling us more about the SkillBridge internship, and Brandy as well, helping to kind of walk through that with us here. Again, if you're interested in the opportunity that was just shared, you can just type Yard Card internship into the chat. I know that Amber, our recruiter, has been leaving those links in the chat as well. And again, this is a SkillBridge internship opportunity for transitioning service members within the last 180 days of their time on active duty. So thank you so much, Ginger. Thank you so much, Brandy, for sharing that opportunity. It's really exciting. Can't wait to see.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. See some of our transitioning service members start at Yard Card and branch into a graphic design career. All right, so we're going to get into sharing some more about direct hire, permanent, full-time opportunities that we have. And Lucy is going to share some roles for us. Lucy. Oh, I think there we go.
I'm on mute. I did just say I am sharing some, and this is the first time I've actually shared roles, probably in about 3 or 4 months. So I'm hopefully going to try and remember how to do it. Normally I'm here for the question and answer session. But if you've been following us for a while, or if you're new, you may not know, we promised new clients, new positions across the US. We have been working with so many new companies over the last couple of months. And today I'm really excited to share one of those with you. One of our new clients is a veteran-owned business, an industry leader, providing modular space solutions, including mobile offices, modular buildings, and design build services. They also have blast-resistant modules and storage. So super exciting concept, great industry. And we've got 4 positions that we want to share with you today. They're across the US and they're completely different industries and verticals. So the first one is a business development representative. That's in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. And if you are in that area, it's in and around Hazlet in Texas. And really it is to support our client's business in that geographical vicinity. You work with the branch manager and other sales reps to increase the volume of product sales. They are looking for somebody with a bachelor's, hopefully in business admin or equivalent experience, and that's really important. They know who our demographic is, so if you don't have that bachelor's degree, but you are interested, still get in touch because they will look at your work experience. And ideally some kind of business development or sales experience in the past, but again, not an absolute deal breaker. The next one is in the same location, so Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, again, Hazlet, Texas. And this is an admin assistant. So this role is supporting our client's construction rental business in that area. You will work with the other administrators on the daily administrative responsibilities by providing superior admin assistant experience. And so basically who they are looking for is somebody who can work on their own volition, work with their own initiative, can multitask, can react to competing priorities, somebody who's really got a head for business there. So that's an exciting role. The third one is in Fresno, California. This one is a material handler. So what they're looking for is somebody with a military background, ideally with 2 years worth of logistics or warehouse experience. And that really will be to maintain the production and distribution of products in the warehouse there. They've come to us specifically for this warehouse position and the next one I'm going to talk about because of the military's leadership qualities and attributes that you guys learn and experience and deliver during your active duty or during your military service rather. And so this next one is a really exciting role. It's a warehouse supervisor role. It's in the Portland metro area. So this is Oregon based. And this one, although it has the title supervisor, they're really looking for somebody that they can invest and grow with, somebody who shows a huge amount of potential, who one day soon could really rise up through the ranks and go into more leadership management. It is supporting their facility in Wilsonville, Oregon. So if you're familiar with that area, it's Wilsonville. And they're really looking for somebody who can manage their day-to-day operations. They're looking for experience in ops management and leadership. And if you did have Lean Six Sigma or any other similar certification, that would be a really nice to have, but again, not a deal breaker. So those are the 4 roles I have. I hope I've done them justice, and it's back over to you, Kate.
You did them more than justice, Lucy. That was fantastic. And again, if you're interested in any of the roles Lucy mentioned, you can just type the position title in the chat and we'll be able to forward you the direct link to those roles. And I'm really happy you mentioned, Lucy, that they're a veteran-owned business. They're not just, a veteran-owned business, but they're really trying to bring more military-affiliated community into their organization. They have positions, as you can see, locations across the United States, and they're also a global company as well. So there's unlimited potential for growth and progression within this organization. And we feel that a lot of these positions are great entry points into a really successful organization. So again, that was the business development representative in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, admin assistant in a Dallas-Fort Worth area, material handler in Fresno, and the warehouse supervisor in the Portland metro area. So if you're interested in any of those roles, just type the job title into the chat. Next up, I will be sharing several roles. We've mentioned this one before, but this is an operations manager role with a really fantastic company, and this will be operating out of their LaSalle, Illinois location. If you're not familiar with that, LaSalle is about 45 minutes west of the Chicago metro area. This company is a fast-moving, tech-forward company. They work in selling car parts, and they do it all via e-commerce. So this is a really great opportunity to get into an organization that's at the cutting edge of logistics and distribution. We've successfully recruited for 2 other operations managers for this company, and they love seeing a military candidate. Ideally, they want someone with about 5 to 8 years of management experience within a commercial warehouse environment. If you have warehouse experience within specifically e-commerce, that's even better. They do desire someone with a bachelor's degree in business operations, but it's not required. So if the operations manager role seems of interest to you, just type operations manager in the chat, and I will reach out to you directly with a link to apply and answer any questions that you might have about that role. Next up, we have 2 opportunities with a really exciting company. We're recruiting for these roles on behalf of an innovative and progressive Silicon Valley type company that is veteran owned as well. And they operate out of the DC metro area. Both of these roles I'd like to mention are hybrid. And if you're not familiar with what hybrid means, it means you work 50% remote and 50% on site at their location in the DMV area. Ideally, this is for a candidate that lives in that area, because the 50% remote is kind of on a week-to-week basis. You might be doing 1 day in the office, 1 day remote, or a week remote and the next week on site. So ideally, these are for candidates that do live in that DC metro area. The first role I'll mention is a training specialist. This role will help support the development of materials and products in relation to a cybersecurity project. So they're really looking for someone that has, developed training and materials around software and hardware operations. This can be someone that's transitioning from the military. We know there are several roles in the military that do develop, training and materials related to IT-related fields, cybersecurity. So if that is you, if you've had that experience in the military, I would definitely suggest you apply for this role. Or if you're someone that's transitioned already, or a military spouse that has worked in development of training products and programs that are related to the IT field, we would definitely suggest that you apply for this role. A bachelor's degree in business or related field is required for the training specialist role in the DC metro area. We are also recruiting for a systems administrator for the same organization in the DC metro area. Again, this is a hybrid role, 50% remote, 50% on site at their location in the DC area. The systems administrator is going to help drive the development of a project related to the field of analytics and cybersecurity. The main requirement for this role is to have IAT level 2. And we know that a lot of people come out of the military with that certification. So if you have that certification and have experience administering user accounts, performing server subsystem configurations, and other systems administrator experience, we greatly would suggest you applying for this role. This is an employer, like many others that we partner with, that specifically come to us looking for military affiliated talent. They will hire a veteran, a transitioning service member, or a spouse above another candidate just because they value the military community. And so if you are interested in the training specialist role or the systems administrator role, please type that into the chats and we will reach out to you directly following this broadcast to give you the link to apply and answer any questions that you might have. So we have shared so much today. We've had a really special guest on today talking about a really exciting new SkillBridge internship. Lucy and I have shared several direct hire positions as well. And now we are going to get into one of our favorite parts, which is just kind of dialoguing with you out there, answering any job search related questions that you might have. So if you didn't have a chance to drop a comment in the chats regarding any job search related questions, resumes, interviews, do that now. We're going to take the last 5 or 6 minutes here and answer any questions that you might have. So let me look back in the chats here for some questions. Lucy, I'm going to throw this one to you. What do you feel like is the best platform for finding remote opportunities?
I knew you were going to throw this one to me. So, good question. Very good question. There isn't one place that we can it would be amazing just to be able to type in remote jobs and it would bring up all the remote jobs. I feel like that's a business need. So if anybody wants an idea of how to, a business post active duty, let's go and do that, because we'd really benefit from it. But I've got two suggestions. The first is there is a search engine. There is a website called flexjobs.com that you can utilize. It's a little bit irritating in a sense, because in order to be able to actually see who the company is, you do have to pay a subscription, so they catch you that way. But you can see what roles are out there, and the name says what they do. It's flex jobs. They are mainly remote positions. But my suggestion when I talk to my candidates is a much cheaper version. It's free. I suggest you use Google Chrome and you type into the search bar, let's say, remote healthcare administration jobs. I did that with somebody earlier, okay? And you'll see the first couple of links that come up in the search will be your Indeed, your ZipRecruiter, possibly even LinkedIn, because they pay, their SEO is such that they get there. But then just slightly underneath that, you will see a small box and it will say jobs and it's backlit in blue. And that, if you click on that, it will take you through to Google's job search function. And it is amazing once you get into it. I wish they would create Google Jobs like they've got Google Flights, etc., because it takes you into this portal of jobs that you didn't even know existed. You can search by posted over the last 3 days, 5 days. You can search by industry. And then you can change your search parameters. So instead of healthcare admin, you can type in remote healthcare management. Or if you live in Phoenix and you really don't mind a role in Phoenix, you can change it to Phoenix. And it searches from all of the internet, well, most of the internet. So it will pick up roles that have been highlighted by LinkedIn, by Indeed, by ZipRecruiter. It will also pick up ones from local job hosting sites that you may not be familiar with. It will also sometimes bring up roles from other companies and direct you through to them. And it's a really good place to do some discovery, due diligence, and research. So that's my number one tip that most people aren't familiar with.
That is fantastic. I mean, obviously we use Google for everything else, so why not utilize it to the best of its ability in our job search? I think that's a fantastic suggestion, Lucy. Thank you so much. And let's see, I'm looking through the chats here again. If you have questions related to job search, type in the chat now. If we don't get to it by the end of this broadcast, we will definitely try to address it next week at Hot Jobs. Someone asked a question in regards to yard cards. So Brandy, I'm going to throw this to you. Is this open to military spouses? My spouse would be perfect for this.
Unfortunately, it is not. It is a internship under the DoD Skillbridge program, which is only for transitioning service members that are in that last 180 days. I don't know if there are plans to open it up to military spouses. A lot of our companies try to do that. Maybe if we do a direct hire at some point in our life with them, that might be the way to go. But this one is actually for that transitioning service member only.
Got it. Thank you so much, Brandy. And again, if you have more Skillbridge related specific questions, Brandy is our Skillbridge recruiter. Definitely connect with her and connect with all of us on LinkedIn. We'd love to be able to not only connect with you here during these Hot Jobs broadcasts, but connect on a daily basis on LinkedIn and be able to join your professional network. So just going to throw that out there as well. I think we had one more question that I'm going to try to address here. Someone asked, people feel like people are biased towards military personnel. And if you want to clarify your bias there, we'd mentioned that there are good and bad biases, right? But people do have somewhat of a good bias towards military personnel because they know that they are hardworking, they have attention to detail, and they are willing to, kind of like Ginger mentioned, if you set a deadline, they're going to meet it. So the question was, how can we exhibit our skill set? And I think I can go ahead and take this question. I think that, or Lucy, if you have more to add too, but I think that a lot of it comes down to, putting your best self forward on your resume. And then also really it hits home during an interview, right? A lot of people are best able to portray themselves just based on that face-to-face interaction during an interview. But you can also exhibit that on your resume. You definitely want to tailor your resume as much as you can to a specific role. And a lot of that has to do with, translating your military experience into how it best fits for those job titles as well. But definitely leave in, some of your experience in the military that can speak to those roles, both in technical aspect and in the soft skills that would really, really relate to those roles. So we can definitely dive into that more in a later. Go ahead, Lucy.
There's lots of new people here today, so many of you won't have heard this analogy that I've used before, but I was talking to somebody about this very thing this morning. And it's really, Kate talked about getting an interview and presenting your best self, but often it's the ability to get that interview in the first place. We hear so many times, I've applied for hundreds of jobs, I haven't got one interview. And I think there's a few takeaways there. The first is instill the same level of confidence in the reader that you, the author, has in your ability. And what I actually mean by that is be objective about your resume. Look at it from somebody's perspective that knows nothing about you. Would they read that you could actually perform the role, that you've got relevant experience, or do they just see a whole load of military vernacular and verbiage? Look at the acronyms, remove as much of those as you can, or if you do include them, state what they actually mean. Remove the military eval speak, take away all the stats, take away the significant numbers, take away the $75 trillion worth of equipment that you've managed, because none of that really means anything in the military world. In the civilian world. I digress, sorry. But I think the biggest thing that you can do is utilize your resume as a mirror of your eligibility for the role. So most people create a resume based on it being a rear view. And what I mean by that is they're looking backwards. They're saying, hey, this is what I've done. Okay, that's great and all, but that's never going to get you the job. What you want to do is you want to pivot that document so that it becomes a windshield. It reflects the version of you that company needs to see. So what that could mean is highlighting or extrapolating the relevant experience for that role and making sure that's included. And that could mean deleting other lines. But really look at your resume and every single bullet point and identify it as context or filler. Is this line going to help me get the role? Or is it just filler? It's something that I want to tell the company about or I'm specifically proud of. And if it's the latter, you can delete it, because really you want to fill your resume with context bullets. And in order to get those context bullets, you go to the job description, exactly like Kate said, and you pick them up and you throw them into your resume. And that's what we mean by targeting your resume.
Absolutely. Such great points, Lucy. I really appreciate that. And I know we've had a couple more questions into the comments, but we're running over 30 minutes here, and we really want to be respectful of your time as well. And we will definitely save those questions and try to answer them next week or in our future hot jobs here as well. So Brandy, Lucy, thank you so much. I am so excited just to have an employer like Ginger come on, share more about her opportunities there, and then just share some really great opportunities. I saw in the chats that someone applied to a role last week after watching Hot Jobs. So that's really exciting to see that we're connecting opportunities to our community that are valuable. So if you have any other questions or anything else, type those in the chats. We go through every question and comment following these broadcasts to try to provide and answer the information that you are asking. So continue to type your questions or comments in the chats, and we'll try to get back to them. If you didn't hear of anything of interest today, whether it was an internship or a job opening, please check out our websites. We have over 200 SkillBridge internships and over 50 full-time permanent roles available to choose from, both fully remote and on-site nationwide. So please take a look there. Again, thank you so much, Brandy, Lucy, and thank you to Ginger for coming on today and sharing more about open opportunities. We really value all of you spending your time with us a little bit here every Tuesday afternoon, and hope to provide more great opportunities for you in the future. And really hope that Hire Military can be a part of you finding your new career this year. And we will see you all next week for another Hot Jobs at Hire Military. Take care. Bye.